Today, we're talking about a different kind of villain. We aren't looking at the tragic villains, the misunderstood ones, or the antagonists who think they're doing the right thing. Today, we're talking about the monsters, villains who are pure evil. These are characters with no remorse, no humanity, and no redeeming qualities. They are the ones audiences love to hate and couldn't wait to see defeated. A great villain can make a movie unforgettable, and these characters did exactly that. They made audiences angry, uncomfortable, and desperate to see justice win in the end. So, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into the 10 villains who were pure evil. Number 10, Comedus.
Or should I be merciful? Comedus the Merciful.
Starting off our list is Comedus from Gladiator. Played brilliantly by Joaquin Phoenix, Comedus is the perfect example of a weak man granted unlimited power. Audiences hated him for his jealousy, cowardice, and cruelty. He murders his own father just to claim the throne, then spends the rest of the film abusing everyone around him. He envies Maximus because Maximus is everything he can never be: honorable, brave, respected, and loved by the people. What made Comedus so effective as a villain is his constant desire for admiration without ever earning it. Instead of leading with strength, he rules through fear and manipulation. Critics praised Phoenix's performance for making Comedus insecure, pathetic, and terrifying all at once. He isn't just evil, he's the kind of evil created when insecurity meets absolute power. Number 9, Mrs. Carmody.
Stealing food now?
Some villains don't need weapons. Sometimes, words are enough. That's why Mrs. Carmody from The Mist remains unforgettable. When deadly creatures trap survivors inside a supermarket, fear takes over. Mrs. Carmody uses that fear to build a cult around herself. She spreads paranoia, turns neighbor against neighbor, and convinces frightened people to follow her madness. Audiences hated her because while monsters lurked outside, she became the true monster within. She showed how quickly fear can destroy reason and humanity. What makes the character so effective is how realistic she feels. We have all seen people exploit panic and chaos to gain power. Critics praised the character for adding psychological horror to the movie. The creatures were terrifying, but Mrs. Carmody was believable, and that made her even scarier. Number 8, Judge Claude Froolo.
A baby? A monster. This is an unholy demon. I'm sending it back to hell, where it belongs.
Disney has many iconic villains, but few are as disturbing as Judge Claude Froolo. Froolo presents himself as righteous and moral while committing acts of cruelty, hatred, and abuse. He persecutes innocent people, torments Quasimodo, and becomes dangerously obsessed with Esmeralda. Audiences hated him because of his hypocrisy. He condemns others while excusing his own evil actions. That self-righteousness makes him more frightening than many live-action villains. Unlike magical villains chasing power, Froolo feels grounded in reality. He represents the danger of authority without compassion. Critics often rank him among Disney's darkest villains because he deals with mature themes rarely seen in animation. Even in a family film, Froolo feels chillingly real. Number 7, Freddy Krueger.
Oh, that's music to my ears.
I want to wake up!
Oh, you can't wake up. I had to keep you awake long enough.
Freddy Krueger became a horror icon, but underneath the jokes and one-liners is a truly evil soul. Freddy attacks people in their dreams, the one place where they should feel safe. He toys with his victims, enjoys their fear, and turns sleep into a terrifying trap. That concept alone made him instantly memorable. Audiences hated Freddy because he didn't just kill, he enjoyed tormenting people first. He wanted his victims to suffer emotionally before the final blow. What made him stand out from other slashers was his personality. He talked, mocked, and laughed, making the horror feel personal. Critics praised the creativity of the character and how he transformed the slasher genre into something more imaginative. Freddy wasn't just another masked killer, he was fear itself. Number 6, Hans Landa.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
Hans Landa is one of the most chilling villains ever written. Played by Christoph Waltz, his weapon isn't brute force, it's intelligence. Known as the Jew Hunter, Landa is polite, charming, and terrifyingly calm. He smiles while ruining lives and enjoys watching fear grow in a room. Audiences hated him because he could switch from friendly conversation to deadly menace in seconds. You never knew when the smile would disappear. That unpredictability made every scene with him feel tense. Even when he was just talking, it felt as though violence could break out at any moment. Critics praised Waltz's Oscar-winning performance, calling it one of the greatest villain portrayals in modern cinema. Landa proved that pure evil can wear perfect manners. Number 5. Anton Sugar. Anton Sugar is pure evil in its coldest, most emotionless form. Unlike loud or theatrical villains, Sugar is calm, quiet, and unstoppable. He kills without hesitation and often lets random chance decide whether people live or die. That twisted worldview makes him one of cinema's scariest characters. Audiences hated him because there is no reasoning with him. No speech can change his mind. No mercy can reach him. He feels less like a man and more like death itself walking toward you. Every scene with Sugar carries a sense of dread because he never rushes, never panics, and never doubts himself. He simply moves forward. Critics praised Javier Bardem's Oscar-winning performance and the character's terrifying realism. He remains one of the most unforgettable villains of the 21st century. Number 4. Amon Goeth. Some villains are fictional monsters. Amon Goeth is worse because he represents real human evil. As the camp commandant in Schindler's List, he abuses and murders innocent people with casual cruelty. He treats human lives as worthless and uses violence whenever he pleases. Audiences hated him because his evil felt brutally real. There is no fantasy here, no exaggerated movie villain behavior, only cruelty, power, and a complete lack of conscience. What makes him especially disturbing is how normal he can appear one moment and how monstrous he becomes the next. That contrast makes the character unforgettable. Critics praised Ralph Fiennes for giving one of the most haunting villain performances ever captured on film. Many consider Goeth one of the most despicable characters in cinema history because he reflects the worst side of humanity. Number 3. Sauron. At number 3 is the Dark Lord himself, Sauron. Even with limited screen time, his presence dominates the entire trilogy. He spreads war, fear, and corruption across Middle-earth. Kingdoms fall, armies rise, and hope fades because of his shadow. Audiences hated Sauron because he wanted total domination. Not revenge, not money. He wanted complete control over all life. The One Ring became the symbol of that obsession, corrupting anyone who came near it. That's what made Sauron so terrifying. He didn't even need to be in the room to destroy people. His influence alone poisoned minds and relationships. Critics praised how the films made him feel massive and unstoppable through atmosphere, music, and imagery. The flaming eye became one of cinema's most iconic symbols of evil. Number 2. Emperor Palpatine.
I will give you so much more.
You'll die first.
I have died before.
Few villains in movie history have caused as much suffering as Emperor Palpatine. Across the Star Wars saga, he proves that the most dangerous enemy is not always the strongest warrior, but the smartest manipulator. He didn't conquer the galaxy through strength, he conquered it through deception. While pretending to be a trusted politician, he secretly fueled wars, divided allies, and positioned himself as the answer to the chaos he created. Audiences hated him most for corrupting Anakin Skywalker. He sensed Anakin's fear and pain, then twisted those emotions until one of the galaxy's greatest heroes became its greatest villain. Palpatine didn't just destroy bodies, he destroyed hope, trust, and entire institutions. He wiped out the Jedi Order and replaced democracy with a dictatorship. Critics praised Ian McDiarmid's performance for making Palpatine theatrical, sinister, and unforgettable. Number 1. President Snow.
She's become a beacon of hope for the rebellion, and she has to be eliminated.
And taking the top spot is President Snow from the Hunger Games. What makes Snow terrifying is how calm and elegant he is. He doesn't need to scream or chase anyone with a weapon. He destroys lives through policy, manipulation, and fear. Snow forces children to fight to the death for entertainment, using suffering as a tool to control an entire nation. That alone makes him one of modern cinema's cruelest villains. Audiences hated him because he smiles while threatening people and speaks softly while planning violence. Every move he makes is designed to protect his power, no matter how many innocent lives are lost. What makes Snow even scarier is how realistic he feels. History is filled with leaders who ruled through propaganda and division while pretending everything was under control. Critics praised Donald Sutherland's performance for making Snow intelligent, elegant, and deeply sinister. He rarely raises his voice, yet every scene with him feels dangerous. President Snow takes number 1 because he proves the worst villains don't always use brute force. Sometimes they use systems of control disguised as order. So, that was our list of 10 villains who were pure evil. From monsters like Freddy Krueger to dark rulers like Sauron and dictators like President Snow, these villains proved one thing: sometimes the best villains are the ones with no redemption at all. Now, I want to hear from you. Which movie villain do you hate the most? Drop your pick in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more movie content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.